Hey everyone, it's Bill here. I'm going to recap how I did in the Premier League, and I'm going to pick the 10 players I think are going to do the best in the Super Series number 3. Hey, it's Bill here, and how did I do in the Premier League? Not too bad, to be honest with you. Even called a tie between Dimitri Vandenberg and Wade at the bottom, but got the cross win, got the Johnny Clayton win over MVG, even though it was easier than what I thought. The Aspinall game I got wrong. I picked a tie. Aspinall beat Anderson, and Peter Wright I picked 7-5, which it should have been probably even better than that, but I think Jose was deserved a couple points for the ones that he gave away, and Wright gave it away, missing doubles. I don't think I've ever seen Wright play that bad on doubles. That was a 6-6 tie, and I predicted Wright to win 7-5, and then I called the last game, Wade versus Dimitri Vandenberg, as a tie, and it ended up being a tie. So overall, not too bad in the second half. And what I will do is when they come back and they start the second half of games, I'll take a prediction of the top 4 and then give my predictions for the day as well. I would just like to mention I made a little bit of money off Johnny Clayton beating MVG, and if you take a look at MVG, there's something missing. Something missing. Not dominant, not consistent. I know Peter Wright said something about him not winning a TV title. That's all I'll say. So let's get into the Super Series 3. It's being played in Germany, and there's a lot of people, a lot of players that have opted out not going. So I've taken a look at the field as is, understanding that I know there were some flight arrangements that were happening that might not happen. And I see that there's a lot of names on there that typically wouldn't qualify, which is great. We're gonna be able to see some new players, or see some players that look forward to seeing. There's a couple there, a couple German players that I would just keep an eye on. Certainly Martin Schindler, who won the Super League. I nearly put him in my top 10. Who I think is going to win the most money in this block of Super Series. I wouldn't be surprised if he does well. Couldn't get him into the top 10. We'll talk about my top 10 in just a bit. And there's another couple players, Lucas Vennig, Florian Hempel. Looking forward to seeing them play. I know Florian Hempel actually has a tour card. I think he's playing his first game. But there's some big players not playing. There's a couple players playing from the Premier League, which is kind of shocking if you ask me. If you take a look at what you'd possibly make, you win all the events, you're looking at, what, $40,000? I believe there's 4 events. $40,000 versus if you come back and test positive and go in the Premier League, you're already guaranteed, I think it's $50,000 now after the relegation round. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me why you would take that risk, and a lot of them in the Premier League decided not to take that risk. So what I'm going to do is go through the field, and obviously it's going to be a little bit, or there's a lot of big names that are missing from the field that have chosen not to go, and I believe it's completely understandable, especially the Premier League players. And there's some Premier League players that are going, which to me is just, I don't know if the risk meets the reward, but fair enough. It's going to make it an interesting Super Series. So here's my top 10. First of all, I'm going to take Michael Van Gerwen. I just was making fun of him with his inconsistent play, but now he's going to be in a field that's not really that stacked of a field. He's getting to the board final pretty much every time, and then when he gets to the board final, I suspect he'll win one of the 4 series, which is going to give him enough money to put him in the top 10. So I'm going to pick Michael Van Gerwen. Maybe he'll do a roar and all that bullshit maybe there's one of these 100 and whatever people that are there that would actually just crack him. I would love to see someone just crack that in the face, give a roar, and then pop him one. He'll probably still roar on in a closed event because, wow, he's a real tough guy. I'm going to call him Hulk Hogan. Big tough guy. Anyways, I do think he's going to win, and he'll be in the top 10 of money, if you ask me. So I'm put him there. Next one up, Nathan Aspinall, playing really, really well in the Premier League. You would expect him to take this confidence into the Super Series. Shocked that he's playing. Absolutely shocked. But, you're top of the league or in the Premier League, and you decide to show up and have an opportunity to catch COVID and then come back and lose money. I don't get it, but he's in the tournament and I'm going to take him. I think he'll do well. So Nathan Aspinall's my second pick. Third pick, Dirk Van Duijvenbode. If you take a look at the scoring, the best scorer in the tour, best 180s per leg. Typically in the quarterfinals, hasn't been able to win a tournament, but I suspect with a little bit less competition, he'll be able to do well. So I see him being in the top 10. Next one up, Jose de Souza. Again, shocked he's going. Absolutely shocked. But he's a great scorer. And with even less competition, I suspect him to do well. I would be picking him to at least win one of these events. So Jose will be my fourth pick. Next pick up, Ryan Searle. Anyone who's watched these events or these videos knows that I think Ryan Searle is a class player. Again, you're going to take a look at your draws. He'll be seeded. He'll be getting a less draw, at least in the first round. And I suspect that gets him to a board final at the least in all the events. And I suspect him to have at least one big run to get him in the top 10 of money. Next one up, Michael Smith. Again, big scorer, less competition. Hasn't played in a while. Probably a little bit hungry. Suspect he'll do well. Next one up, Damon Hedda. Damon Hedda is typically in these events has done really, really well. I was good at the running mate, so I know that Damon Hedda, Dimitri Vandenberg, and Jose de Souza, I believe they have some arrangement with living together through this time. You'll notice that I didn't add Dimitri Vandenberg to this list. I really thought about it, but his floor game is not as good as his stage game. So Damon Hedda is probably chomping at the bit. Been practicing with two really good players and does really well on the floor. So I suspect he'll be in the top 10. Next one up, Gabriel Clemens. Again, he didn't have to go in the Super League because he's already in the top 32. Just a good player, consistent. In this field, consistency will do the day. So I suspect he'll be in the top 10. Picked him to be there. 9, again, another consistent player, Danny Noppert. Usually has a big run, gets to a semifinal, gets to a quarterfinal, gets to a board final. I think he'll gather enough money over these days to be in the top 10. And my last pick, I really struggled with this one. Dimitri Vandenberg was there. Daryl Gurdy was someone that I thought about putting in the top 10. Martin Schindler was someone that I was thinking about putting in the top 10. I just don't think that they will be there. I think this might be the tournament for Luke Humphreys. So I'm going to put Luke Humphreys, or this block of events. I think it'll be a block of events that Luke Humphreys does well on. The only thing I'm worried about is not seeded, so you could get a bad draw off the bat. But I suspect, he's just a big 180 hitter. Again, a couple of players that I knocked around, Mervyn King would be one for sure that I was knocking around and saying, maybe I take that. Again, I talked about Schindler, Menser Sulovic. This might be a good event for him with less of a field. But you've got my top 10. So again, I'll just review my top 10. Michael Van Gerwen, rawr, big tough guy. Again, if someone knocks him out, I would love that. Nathan Aspinall, number 2. Dirk Van Duijvenbode, number 3. Jose de Souza, number 4. Ryan Searle, number 5. Michael Smith, number 6. Damon Hedda, number 7. Gabriel Clemens, number 8. Danny Noppert, number 9. And Luke Humphreys, number 10. Last time I did a pick on these super events, I got 4 to 10. Hopefully I increased that, or 4 of the top 10 money holders. Hopefully I increase that again with less of a field. I think we're going to see some new names grab some tournaments, which is going to be great to see. Hope everyone enjoys it. I'll certainly be watching, and I'll do a video after the Super Series to see how I did. Cheers.